If you plan to drive in January 2026, there are some important updates to be aware of that could affect every trip you take. These aren't small tweaks. These are major changes to driving laws that are rolling out across many states, and they have the potential to cost drivers money, points on their license, or even create legal complications if ignored. Whether you drive every day, occasionally, or just for errands, understanding these rules now can save stress, expense, and frustration later. The reality is that changes are coming fast, some already implemented in certain states, and by January, they'll be in full effect or expanding nationwide. Driving is something most of us do without thinking twice, but these new rules are shifting expectations, responsibilities, and penalties in ways that every driver should know about before getting behind the wheel. Why staying informed matters. Being aware of law changes isn't just about avoiding tickets. It's about understanding how your habits on the road could suddenly be in violation without you realizing it. Small lapses, like holding a phone for a second or exceeding a speed limit by a few miles per hour, are no longer trivial. Across the United States, law enforcement is tightening regulations, improving enforcement methods, and increasing fines in ways that can affect your wallet, your driving record, and your insurance rates. Driving has always required attention, but the combination of stricter rules and automated enforcement means that every decision behind the wheel counts. Knowledge becomes your most powerful tool, and being proactive can make the difference between staying safe and paying unnecessary penalties. Expanding hands-free cell phone laws. The first major change coming is the dramatic expansion of hands-free cell phone laws. While some states already require drivers to use hands-free devices, starting in January 2026, over a dozen additional states will either introduce these laws or increase their enforcement. Penalties will rise significantly in states like Georgia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, where first-time fines could jump to $200, $500, and repeat offenses could cost $500, $1,000, plus points on your license. In states such as California, New York, and Washington, drivers may be required to complete mandatory courses or even face license suspension for repeated violations. Insurance companies are watching closely, and a citation for distracted driving can increase your premiums by 15–30%, potentially adding hundreds of dollars in yearly costs. Holding your phone while driving, even at a red light, is considered a violation, with exceptions only for hands-free devices or voice commands. Small habits, like checking a notification quickly, now carry real consequences, and investing in a mount or Bluetooth headset is a practical and safe step. Understanding the scope of distracted driving. Distracted driving isn't limited to texting. Scrolling social media, checking navigation manually, or even holding a phone to your ear counts in most states. These laws reflect the growing understanding that even brief distractions increase risk significantly. The key is prevention. Set up navigation in advance. Rely on voice commands and pull over safely if you need to use your device. Driving may seem routine, but these changes highlight how a single moment of distraction can have financial, legal, and safety consequences. Shifting these habits now not only protects you legally, but also encourages safer driving practices that reduce the likelihood of accidents and long-term costs. Small changes today prevent much larger problems tomorrow. Automated enforcement expansion. The second major shift involves automated enforcement. Speed cameras and red light cameras are spreading rapidly, with new installations in states like Illinois, Maryland, Arizona, and Florida, and even more extensive networks in places like Washington, D.C. These cameras are programmed to be stricter, with speed thresholds dropping to just 5 or 6 miles per hour over the limit, and red light tolerance shrinking or disappearing entirely. Even minimal infractions can result in tickets ranging from $50 to $500 depending on the location and severity of the violation. While some view cameras as revenue tools, their primary goal is to encourage safer driving, and ignoring them is not an option. Staying attentive to speed limits, traffic signals, and road conditions is the simplest and most effective way to avoid fines, maintain a clean driving record, and prevent insurance rate increases. How speed and red light cameras work. Speed cameras typically capture your license plate if you exceed the limit beyond a set tolerance, while red light cameras monitor vehicles crossing stop lines after the signal changes. These fines are often civil rather than criminal, meaning points may not be added to your license, but they can still influence your insurance rates. Ignoring these tickets can escalate to late fees, collections, or registration suspensions. The system is designed to incentivize cautious driving, and understanding the mechanics of enforcement helps drivers anticipate and avoid mistakes. Awareness and compliance are the most reliable tools in navigating the expanding camera network and keeping both your record and your finances intact. The rising stakes of impaired driving. Impaired driving laws are also tightening. Several states are lowering blood alcohol concentration, BAC limits, with some adopting a 0.05% threshold. This change is significant because it reduces the margin of alcohol that can be consumed safely before risking a DUI. First-time offenses now carry fines starting at $1,000, license suspensions, mandatory education programs, and potentially short-term jail sentences. Repeat offenses escalate to felony charges, long-term license revocation, and severe financial consequences. Beyond the fines, costs include attorney fees, court expenses, increased insurance, and installation of devices such as ignition interlocks. Even a single miscalculation after a couple of drinks could exceed $10,000, $15,000 over time. The message is clear. If there's any alcohol involved, don't drive. Rideshares, taxis, or waiting it out are safer and far more cost-effective solutions. Why small BAC differences matter. While a difference between 0.08% and 0.05% may seem minor, physiologically it represents a substantial reduction in allowable alcohol intake. One or two drinks that might have been legal in one state could now put you over the limit elsewhere. This is not just a theoretical risk. It's a practical one that demands awareness and planning. Many drivers underestimate how quickly alcohol impacts their system, and new enforcement standards require caution even in casual situations like dinner with friends. Understanding your state's regulations and erring on the side of safety ensures compliance and personal security. Electric vehicle registration and fees. Electric vehicle, EV owners will also see changes. Since EVs don't pay traditional fuel taxes used to maintain roads, states like Texas, Ohio, and Virginia are introducing annual registration fees ranging from $100 to $200. Some states may implement mileage-based fees, charging drivers based on the distance traveled. While these fees reflect fairness in road maintenance funding, they add a new cost consideration for EV owners. On the positive side, incentives such as tax credits, rebates, and carpool lane access continue to be offered in some regions. Balancing costs and benefits will be an essential part of planning for EV ownership in 2026 and beyond. Tighter emission standards for gas vehicles. For drivers with traditional gas-powered vehicles, emission standards are becoming stricter. States such as California, Colorado, and New York are increasing testing requirements, and failing the standards can lead to costly repairs or even prevent registration renewal. Urban areas may restrict older vehicles or impose congestion fees to reduce pollution. Even a well-maintained vehicle could require adjustments to comply with new regulations, and proactive testing before January 2026 is recommended. Planning early ensures that your car remains legal and avoids last-minute expenses or disruptions to your daily routine. The financial impact of vehicle compliance. Both EV registration changes and stricter emission standards reflect broader shifts in transportation policy aimed at sustainability and fairness. Understanding these policies is critical, not only to comply, but also to budget accordingly. Early preparation can mitigate surprise costs, whether through maintenance, registration fees, or potential upgrades to meet new emission standards. Being proactive transforms what could be an unexpected financial burden into a manageable and predictable part of vehicle ownership. Harsher penalties for reckless driving. Reckless driving and street racing laws are receiving significant updates, with harsher penalties in states such as Florida, Nevada, and Georgia. These laws are broader than they may appear, covering aggressive maneuvers, excessive speeding, tailgating, and even attending street races as a spectator. Consequences include fines of $1,000 or more, vehicle impoundment, and, for repeat offenses, felony charges with potential jail time. Even ordinary drivers risk infractions if they drive aggressively or take unnecessary risks. The emphasis is on prevention, reinforcing safe driving habits while discouraging dangerous behavior on roads and highways. How reckless driving changes affect everyday drivers. It's important to understand that you don't need to be a street racer to face consequences. Aggressive driving in ordinary traffic, speeding, weaving, cutting off others, can now fall under the definition of reckless driving. This elevates the importance of cautious, deliberate driving. Awareness, patience, and adherence to traffic laws are the most effective strategies to avoid fines, legal issues, and insurance increases. The new rules highlight that safety and responsibility go hand in hand, and the financial and legal stakes for aggressive behavior are higher than ever. Practical steps to stay compliant. Preparation is key to navigating all these changes. Start by reviewing state-specific laws and regulations, as each jurisdiction has its own timelines and requirements. Adjust habits now. Put your phone away, obey speed limits, avoid alcohol if driving, and pay attention to road signage. Budget for potential new costs, whether for EV registration, emission testing, or vehicle repairs. Invest in practical tools like phone mounts, Bluetooth headsets, and GPS apps that alert you to camera locations. Small changes made proactively can prevent larger problems later and protect both your finances and personal safety. Driving safely is the best defense. Ultimately, the best way to avoid penalties and legal complications is simple. Drive safely and responsibly. Stay informed, plan ahead, and make conscious choices about speed, alcohol consumption, phone use, and vehicle maintenance. These new rules reflect a shift toward greater accountability and safety, and adopting these habits today can protect you tomorrow. The combination of legal compliance and practical caution ensures that drivers remain secure, informed, and prepared for changes that are coming in 2026. Summary of key changes. In summary, 5 major updates are rolling out in January 2026. Hands-free cell phone laws are expanding with increased fines, automated speed and red light cameras are more prevalent and stricter. DUI laws are lowering BAC limits and increasing penalties. EV registration fees and gas vehicle emission requirements are tightening, and reckless driving penalties, including street racing laws, are becoming more severe. Each change affects drivers differently depending on location, vehicle type, and driving habits, but all share a common goal: improving safety and accountability on the road. Staying aware and proactive ensures compliance and reduces risk. Taking control of your driving future. Being informed is empowering. It allows drivers to plan, adjust habits, budget for costs, and protect themselves from unexpected fines or complications. These law changes, while significant, are manageable with foresight and attention. By staying up to date and implementing practical strategies, drivers can continue to move safely, legally, and efficiently, avoiding costly errors and maintaining peace of mind. Knowledge, preparation, and cautious driving are the best tools for navigating this new landscape. Stay ahead of changes. January 2026 brings changes that could have significant financial and legal consequences for drivers, but awareness and proactive behavior are the keys to staying protected. Educate yourself about your state's specific requirements, adapt driving habits, and invest in tools and planning that make compliance simple. Safe, informed driving ensures that your daily routines remain uninterrupted and that you avoid the stress, cost, and potential hazards of being caught off guard by new laws. These adjustments may feel minor in the moment, but they create long-term security for you, your family, and everyone on the road.